Here are my top 10 underrated rap/hip-hop albums of 2018. My name is Joshua Enviers, and by underrated I mean artists that you've probably never even heard of, but you should definitely listen to on various platforms such as YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. If you have heard of them, shout out to you. Check out their projects, all links will be in the description. I covered him before, but Lowboy Cantu, he released a project early in the year called Sinners and Saints, and that's the project that put me on to his music. I found him on SoundCloud. I even made a video on him. Link in the description, or in the little eye on the video if I remember to put that. His sound was unique to me, even though if everyone compares him to a guy like Trippie Redd with the alternative singing, screaming, and more melodic music. Either way, it wasn't something I saw a lot of other artists on SoundCloud or any other platform. I was a big SoundCloud guy back before I got Spotify Premium, let's just say. And I used to find a lot of different artists, and Lowboy Cantu was one of those artists I found before I made the switch to Spotify. Some of his biggest songs on the project, Big Wavy and Lately, and one of my personal favorites, Forever. All songs you should definitely check out.
Lately, I've been living on the road like a rock star, selling out shows. Lately, I've been ignoring all calls, too busy getting on this stuff.
N8, Heaven on Earth. He used to go by N8 08. Looks like he dropped the 08, and before that he went by the Proletarians. The crazy thing is, I probably would have never heard of this man's music if it wasn't for a fellow viewer, subscriber, someone that's been supporting me for the longest, who's been showing love on the videos and for what I do for years. So shout out CJ East. I see you all the time. But he put me onto his music, and I was able to listen to a couple of his songs before he released them, and I fell in love, absolutely fell in love with People in the Streets, or as it's called, Pits. I hear a lot of Kanye influence, and another personal favorite on the project, Can't Take It. Kanye is one of the GOATs to me, but this project reminds me of old Kanye. Check out this album and check out N8. Next up, we have 93 Bandits, My Friend, Steezy Grizzlies, or Grizz on 13th, or Stop Changing Your Rap Name 2019. His group of guys released a project called The Big Score. He just dropped it a few days ago, and I listened to it the first time, and I was actually surprised. I was surprised on how good it was, because most of the time when Grizz releases something, he doesn't like it and deletes it, and it kind of shows in the music that he makes. But this one hopefully is different. Hopefully they don't delete this one. 93 Bandits is a talented group of guys, rappers, producers, etc., etc. I don't know what they all personally do, but any friends of Grizz is a friend of mine, and they got my full support. Support your friends. Friends 2019.
Give a fuck about a hater, that's on 93. I give a fuck about none of these niggas, I know that they ain't getting paid. All of these bitches, they on me, I feel like they only gon' get in the way. Running up just like a slave, yeah.
Next up, Jay Polished, Far From Normal. If you've been following my channel, you probably know who Jay Polished is. I've done videos with him on talking about basketball, talking about his music, the upcoming rappers thing of 2018. Have another one coming soon on that in 2019 in a few days, hopefully. I've said this in my upcoming rappers video as well. Jay Polished was one of the few guys that got in before I stopped reading Instagram DMs, because now my Instagram DMs are just flooded with, yo, check out my music. I'm recording off my iPhone headphones. Link in my SoundCloud. Hopefully 2019 is a good year for you. You know, shout out. I see you with the Lyrical Lemonade post. That's big. Congrats. I see a lot of people are liking the song titled My Angel, but my personal favorites are All I Had and Far From Normal. Just different taste, I guess.
We wake up in the morning and then knock and repeat. If I ain't saying now, how it gonna happen? I ain't playing around, this shit more than rapping. They all laying down, yeah, they sort of napping. Alarm clock starts ringing and they all look at me like, where was you before? When all I had was the fucking cellar floor. When all I had was dreams that I could sell a tour. When all I had.
Next up, we have True with Love Infinity. Shout out to Greg Newman, for putting me on to him. Greg is also another artist, talented artist, with talented friends, True being one of those talented friends. This was back in my SoundCloud days before Spotify Premium. I saw that Greg Newman liked or like reposted a podcast of some sorts, and it had a bunch of songs at the beginning and I believe at the end, and one of the songs was by True. I tweeted at him, yo, what's his song? He said, yo, it's this song. Looked him up, enjoyed more of his music, and from there on I found out about Love Infinity. It was released earlier in the year, but the vibe to it I absolutely loved. It was very funky. Is that a genre? It's a good thing I'm not a rap reviewer, like music reviewer. That'd be weird, having to describe music in my own terms. But some of my favorite off the project are Young and Reckless and Attitude. Go check it out. True, Love Infinity, Greg Newman, we waiting for your project next.
99 problems I could list. My number one wildin' off the shit. I don't really pay him any sense. My attention stuck up on his. Yeah. Day and night, I work day and night. She hit day and night cause she let it clout. I hit the clown when she FaceTime. Bigger convos going down. Big condos cover ground. Got big plans, try to go all out.
Next, we have Dom, hopefully I'm saying your name right, who released a couple of projects in 2018. Spirits and RCA113 being his most recent. I found out about his music through Solihad. Solihad is an artist I've covered in my 10 upcoming rappers of 2018 video that a lot of people loved, which they're both part of a group of friends called Entrebrand. I'm not one for comparisons, but a lot of Brockhampton vibes when listening to this project. I'm not too familiar with his music considering I just started listening to him a few months ago. All the guys at Entrebrand, there seem to be talented artists, and I support them to the fullest. My favorite tracks off his newest project, Perfect and It's Getting Better.
Everybody wanna play, hit the stage with $1 million smile and a K this time, bro. I hate your vibe, fucking fake nice. Too scared with the hate light. Finna talk shit here through the grapevine. Let the blood off, only if it tastes right. Think I'm paranoid, people out to get me. Did a soul search, found that it was empty.
Next up, we have Trevor Daniel, Homesick. I found out about him through a Young Pinch concert I went to. He was the opening act. I looked him up because he had, you know, a unique sound. The crowd was vibing to him, and I found out that he has actually a collab feature with another artist that I love listening to, Paris. And I was like, oh wow, okay, that makes sense because they both have a similar style. Both go hand in hand. I'm super excited to see what Trevor Daniel is able to do in 2019 and who he's able to collab with. He has a bright future. You should definitely check him out. All these artists you should check out. My favorite tracks, Falling and Mess. Final three guys, Kevin George, Fortina. I'm pretty sure I've talked about Kevin George in some of my videos. So if you've been around and, you know, stuck with me through all this time, you may know who he is. He has more of a melodic sound, a lot of singing. Found out about him early in the year. Man, I kind of miss SoundCloud, because this is how I found out a majority of these dudes, through SoundCloud. But I don't use SoundCloud as often as I do because I have Spotify Premium, and this video is not sponsored by Spotify Premium, but I kind of wish it was. My favorite tracks off the project are OMG and She Don't Love Me, the track featuring Gunna. Next up, Jean Rome, So Much for So Long. Seems like a lot of my friends are on this video, and some comments may say, oh, why are you only supporting your friends? You know, support your friends 2019. And if my friends weren't good, I wouldn't be putting them there. But my friends are good, and I'm lucky enough to know and have talked to Jean Rome, listened to his music. I've always loved his music. I've told him that. And after a long music hiatus, he's finally put out a project, and it was a good one. I've said before, some of my favorite tracks off of it are Freeze and Ready for More. And although this in particular song isn't a part of the album, my favorite track by Jean Rome all year has been Oh Boy, off of his 24 Hours project with Nick Anthony. Go check both projects out. Go check out Jean Rome.
Wondering if it's a matter of time, thinking of whether we see in the sun, keeping it calm but I'm freaking inside, leave it to me to be thinking too much. I could account for the way we feel, could account for the power to make this real, could account for the cowardice I was about here, when the power to make it all better would appear. What we've been needing is so now what we've been seeing, wanna see that this problem is more than talk around a silly joke. I've been knowing this and looking over.
Last but not least, we have Kerry, who released his project, Captain. I've been supporting his music for the longest. If you've been here since 2016, some of you may have, most of you probably haven't. Talked about him a lot back then, and I continue to talk about him because he's super good, super talented, and I feel like more people need to be listening to his music. It's been amazing to see his growth as an artist, and I hope to continue to see it. My favorite tracks off the project are Nimbus and Feel Right. Those are 10 underrated rap hip hop albums that I enjoyed in 2018. If you check out any of these projects, let me know in the comment section below, as well as telling me your 10 underrated hip hop projects of 2018. Leave a like on the video, share it around, subscribe, check out these other videos, and I'll talk to you in the next one.